Hey guys, it's Emily Schaller, and you're watching the Rock CF Boltcast. Before we get started, there's a few things we need to go over. First off, nothing on this podcast should be considered medical advice. Medical advice should only come from your doctor. Views expressed on this podcast are solely opinions of the guest and not necessarily opinions of myself or the Rock CF Foundation. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of the Rock CF Boltcast.
This episode of the Rock CF Boltcast is sponsored by Vertex Pharmaceuticals.
Hi, my name is Ellenor, and I am 7 years old, and I have CF.
So when was Ellenor diagnosed, and how did that kind of story go down?
Louise was a carrier for cystic fibrosis, and they said, hey, this is no big deal, but just to be sure, we'll check your husband. So I had to go in, get my blood drawn, and then, we got a call back from the doctor's office, a day later, saying, hey, you might want to buy a lottery ticket. You guys are both, positive carriers for cystic fibrosis. And we're like, okay, cystic fibrosis, what's that?
Yeah, did you know anything about it?
No. So then we had Elliot, and he was negative. So Elliot's not even a carrier. And then we got pregnant with Ellenor, and as they kind of went through, and they were following some of the things that they follow, like bone density and things like that were throwing flags for cystic fibrosis. And we were like, okay, this is becoming like a real deal. Then Ellenor was born, and she immediately showed the distended abdomen, which is, characteristic. So we found that out, and they kind of were wondering if she had a blockage or whatnot. So it went back and forth. Yep. And at this point, she ended up with the meconium ileus, which is the ileal valve is sealed in her intestines. So they had to do surgery, remove that blockage, and then they had to resect some of her intestines. And so then we were for sure set up in our CF journey.
I'm trying to talk to my parents more about it and my brothers to get, the feel of how they dealt with it. Like, did your parenting, not style change, but did you change anything when she was diagnosed? Or were you just like, this is what we do and we're just gonna power through?
We changed nothing and everything all at once.
Yes.
I love the doctors. They measure you and feel how much you can grow.
Your core fundamental values still stay the same, and for us, faith is a huge thing. We're big believers in God, and so those values stay the same, but we live life very much on the cuff. We take advantage of life, and CF kind of forces you in many ways to slow down and have a routine, and some things you got to figure out a new constant, but you have to have these constants in your life, and you have to make things regular.
So with Elliot being a new mom, I suffered from almost like crippling anxiety. And then when Ellenor was born, and it was something that you're like, I don't have control over that. That was something that was like, I didn't have control over that thing that happened to me. So I just have to take it one day at a time and adjust, and this is what it is now. And so I literally think the day I gave birth, I have not had a panic attack or anxiety driven since the minute that she got here, because it was one of those things that her diagnosis and her journey was like, all right, well, we just have to live it day by day now.
Trust me, I know a lot about anxiety. But I can totally see that. And Ellenor, speaking of treatments, do you do a lot of treatments every day?
We do my shakes and my breathing 2 times a day.
You do it in the morning, and then you do it before bed, right?
And then I think I saw that you have a special place where you do your treatments. Do you have like a cool nook in your bedroom or something?
Yeah, I just got that for Christmas. So it's technically just a box that,
a little cubby?
Yeah, like a little cubby. It's kind of like a cabinet.
Okay. My parents put me in a box too when I was a kid. It's fine. I turned out great.
Actually, when she was born, me and my mom had 2 horses, and we actually had to get sell those because she's not supposed to be around dust, so we got rid of those.
Right.
When you're first born, you have this first diagnosis. You kind of think as a
Yeah.
parent, you Google, like don't ever Google, like because you panic. And I was like, get rid
I
of the
know.
horses, get rid of everything. We didn't know what life was gonna be. Can
Yeah.
we do the things that we love to do? And here we are, almost 8 years later, we realized, yes, we can do those
You
things.
can do it.
We can, and we do.
Still remember the day that we got the Cooper, and she was just obsessed, and she loved to ride, and she was just obsessed with jumping and riding ever since.
Is that fun to watch?
Yeah.
And they
To
were
be so
like,
excited?
and they were like, oh, she'll get over the horses. She'll be like, oh, well, we'll just pass on. But I was just like obsessed with them. So
All right, so we love the horses, we love music.
here, I'll sing real quick.
Okay, all right, let's bust out a tune here real quick.
I wrote 100 pages, but I burned them all. Yeah, I burned them all. I blow through yellow lights and don't look back at all. Yeah, don't look back at all. Oh, dang, oh my, now I can't hide. Said I knew myself, but I guess I lied. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. If you're lost with all the loss, and it's alright. Oh, it's alright to be lost sometimes.
What?
Good job, Nook.
What? Ellenor! What? Singing is so good for your lungs, too.
For us, again, like I said, faith is a big thing. So our kids are very confident in a lot of what they do, knowing that they have a God that loves them and made them for a purpose. And I think that is really kind of where, if I could encourage any other parent, it starts with a mindset. The same with, exercise. Nobody likes going from the couch to all of a sudden getting in a program, right? So, but once you get moving, you crave that run or that exercise, and your body goes,
Adrenaline.
I need more. Let's do this.
Yeah. And that you hit the nail on the head, especially when you throw in something like CF, right? So it's hard to breathe for a lot of us, and then you're going to tell us to go run or be active, and it's hard, right? So the natural instinct for people when something is hard is we stop and say nope.
Right.
So it takes the extra push, and especially from parents like you guys, giving that push to your kid to be like, no, try it again, right?
Right.
And pushing them out of the comfort zone. It makes me so happy that you guys do that. Ellenor, you've done a race before, haven't you?
10 miles. Tell her about it.
10
Yep.
miles?
She did the 10 miler with Elliot, and Elliot did the 10 milers.
Woohoo! Yeah! Good job! High five! What do you think?
I don't know.
That's amazing. So do you think exercise is good for your lungs and good for CF?
Yeah. I just think I am not very picky about running. I actually like to run. I just like to work out. And whenever Ellie has to do his workouts and run on the treadmill, I was like, it's early right now, and I'm like, can I run on the treadmill? I want to run on the treadmill.
Wow. That's amazing. That's what we like to see.
Yeah.
We think exercise is so good for people, right? One more question for Ellenor, and then we'll close it out. If you had one message for everybody out there with CF, what would you say to them?
I would say that never be scared, and God is with you, and He's always got your back. And when you think God isn't there, He's always there making it happen. Some things we get to choose, others choose us.
You guys are honestly so cool and inspiring to me and the CF community. I can't wait for everyone to hear your story. Any last words from anybody?
We're so thankful for amazing Rock CF Foundation and all the love that comes from that community. And we're just thankful for this journey.